right, boys, we are back on the GT100. I don't know exactly how far I'm gonna get, but I'm not going to post this video or edit this until this bad girl has epoxy primer, direct to metal type primer on the whole truck, so I don't have to worry about any more stinking rust. Obviously, I live in an arid climate because it allows me to keep the metal like this and it doesn't just blow up and turn super rust. If we lived in a humid climate, guys down south and other humid climates, no, you cannot leave the metal like this or it will just get destroyed. Even here though, I'm just sick of, you guys probably can't get on camera, but every time people are touching it, leaning on it, doing whatever, it's leaving these just, you know, you can kind of see here, it's leaving these little surface rust spots, which basically I'm gonna have to sand down the whole truck. We're gonna go 120 grit. We're gonna prep everything for this epoxy primer, a direct to metal primer. I think we're just gonna use this right here. So got some of this. It's just an epoxy direct to metal, but we've got to prep the surfaces. So what do we need to do to prep the surface? We're gonna do this metal reinforced filler. I love this stuff. It's super strong. You can tap and drill it. It doesn't act like other fillers. It's super rigid. It's gonna pull out anything I can, little dings, dents. We'll hammer and dolly and do what we can to get it where we need to get it, and then just put a little bit of the metal reinforced filler to get into this body stuff. So we'll 120 the whole thing with the DA. We're gonna spray the whole thing. My new gun came in from Eastwood. I believe this is a primer gun. We'll open it up. I'll show you what I got. In the past, I've always done, if you guys can see up there, just a Harbor Freight Black Widow is what I'd spray my base coat, clear coat on, and it worked really good. But I figured, I'm not a paint and body guy, but I've done it a couple times to the point it is pretty satisfying when you have a project, you sand it all down, do some body work and paint it, and it's this beautiful painted vehicle compared to what it was. I actually do enjoy the outcome of painting a vehicle and doing it. It's just tedious work. Short of that, it's going to be a lot of sanding. We are going to get the Zephyr out. We haven't been giving her much love over there. She's going to come off jack stands and I'm going to park it in the driveway until it gets cold again. So I'm really wanting to finish the truck. So we're not giving the Zephyr a lot of love. I know I tried to get it done this summer, but I really didn't have time to work on it, and I'm putting all my funds into getting the truck done because I want to have the truck done. We're going to push the poor old Zephyr out. We're going to get her out, leave her in the driveway. All my neighbors will love that, I'm sure. She's got a good stance on her. Or get a wood block for safety here. She's got no brakes. Pretty sure the steering's hooked up. No brakes though, for sure. There's no lines even in it, so. Worked. She's got brakes-ish. Woo! All right, boys, got the Zephyr out. It's been a while for the old Mercury here. She looks good though. Can't wait to get back on the Zephyr. We've just been bogged down with stuff. Got the old shitbox edition. All right, guys, well, we've been putting a bunch of that metal reinforced filler through different parts of the truck. I didn't get a lot of it on camera because I was just sanding for 3-4 hours. Tacked the dash in all the way. Need to still build some caps to fill this in here. Smooth down, grind down these welds on the dash, and then we're gonna smooth this and this will all get wrapped. Only thing needs to be done on the tailgate really is I want to This needs to be raised up about 1/8 of an inch so it's level. That side's nice and level. This one's about 1 inch down. Make some adjustments to the bracket so we can lift that up. Got our 2 patch pieces. Are we gonna work on your truck? Yeah, let me get these patch panels for the F100, the GT100. We'll work on
that
these.
One? Or
huh?
Or that one.
You want to work on that one, your truck? Let me get these for that one first. Okay? Alright, passenger, driver. Let's see how close we got these bad boys. Pretty good. Use a little hammer and dolly that girl down. I think that'll work. We'll get it tacked in and then maybe hammer it down. We just want to meet this contour here and contour here, and then we can get our filler across. You need me? What?
Come here. Look.
What?
Side. The other side.
Other side? Oh, of the respirator? We missing the cap? Okay. We'll.
See?
Oh yeah, I see it. We'll get that. We'll put that back on when we use it. We start painting this truck, we're gonna have to wear that so we don't breathe in yucky chemicals.
Painting.
Yeah.
Painting.
Painting. Ooh.
You might need to take off that metal. See? Because some metal needs to be rusted.
Yeah, some of that rust on there we need to take off. Oh, with that? No, let's not start sanding it yet. I kind of like that old Laredo brown and white color of that truck. I think of your monster truck. We kind of let's get it running first, okay? Yeah. All right.
How is it not even working?
Well, that's what we do is we buy stuff and we fix it.
How is it not working? What?
The Jeep?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We bought it from a guy. He says it doesn't run, like it doesn't turn on. We turn the ignition and we don't get anything. So we got to check the battery. We got to check all the wiring.
Maybe that's.
We got to check the fuel. Make sure it's getting fuel, and we got to make sure the engine's getting spark so it can turn over. You know that? Okay.
All that stuff.
You know all that stuff?
Yeah, we are supposed to.
We're both good fixers like that.
I'm getting a cold treat.
A cold treat.
Yeah, no one ate last one.
You ate the last icy? You little stinker. All right, well this patch panel over here looks pretty good. We got her in there nice and flush. We'll tack her in, and then we got to get some, we'll do some metal infused filler along this whole dash. Ah, you're funny. You got jokes today?
Yes.
What are you looking for? A cold treat?
No.
Daddy needs a cold beverage, I think.
Can you give me some kombucha?
Yeah, I'll get you some. Let me get this panel all welded.
Dad?
Yeah?
This,
Huh?
This what I just saw in my right eye. That's behind the seat.
What about it?
The thing behind the seat. I just saw it.
Ah, what is that?
Huh?
What is that?
I don't know. What?
Go ask Mom if you've been a good boy, if you can have your present.
That's what I'm gonna have when it's my birthday.
Maybe you can have it maybe a little earlier. Go tell Mommy you saw your present in the garage and ask if you can have it
Oh wait,
right
I
now.
need to get this past this buggy.
All right, boys, it's a new day. Beautiful Utah sun coming up. We've been sanding and doing some of this body prep on this dash. So last night we kind of put the filler down, smoothed it all down this morning. Good enough to get covered in foam and leather. Next for paint prep, I think when we do this direct to metal primer, we're gonna probably tape everything off from the door sill from here out, and then we'll get all this. Obviously we're gonna pull the fenders, hood off, but get all this metal here from the door sill out. So one thing I kind of never talked about, and if you guys have addressed, is when this is all fabricated to tie in the Mustang tub to the unibody body. So this is metal I got from obviously a metal supply place. This stuff has what's called mill scale on it. Mill scale you do not want to paint over. So you can kind of see here, I've ground this down and got the mill scale off, which is right here. So this is mill scale. You paint over this, same with your bars, really any metal, tubing, anything you get from a metal supplier, it's gonna have mill scale on it. And eventually paint doesn't adhere to it. It'll end up corroding through and not attaching to the metal really good if you don't take care of the mill scales. We've got to make sure I prep this metal properly to put the direct to metal primer on it, and that's removing all this mill scale here. Got all this stuff already. We'll go to the other side, do the same thing, and then we're going to sand this whole body down again. It doesn't look like it's too bad, but you can kind of see like fingerprints here. I don't know if it shows up in the video. Where you touch it, it's kind of getting a little surface rust from fingerprints. So let's work on this mill scale, get this all off on the door sills. Some of the tools I use for mill scale, it's really just a surface prep disc like this little 2-inch disc, and this will take this off real good. I'll attach it to one of these. You can use a little bit stronger grip, but this will start to gouge the metal, so I don't really like that. But these surface preps will really just take off the mill scale. It is still kind of a pain in the butt, but it'll get it off without actually digging into your metal. All right, boys, well, we got her blown apart. Front's off, we got fenders everywhere. We got the hood, the doors, the tailgate off. I need to get this direct metal primer on here. So I think, well, I know we got all the mill scale, everything off the metal fabricated stuff. It looks like it's good to put our direct metal primer. I want to get it on so I don't have to worry about flash rusting. Problem is, if you can see up here, so I kind of grinded this down. This is what I want it to look like. I don't know if you guys can see this. And then if I pan over to, if I come up, let me see up here. It may be hard to see in the camera. It's not too bad up here, but there's a few spots where you kind of have little fingerprints from, flash rust from touching it from the oils on your hands. So I want the whole body all this metal on the cab in the box. I want all this metal to be exposed, to be shiny like this. I have this surface prep pad, just looks like this, but I've got it on my dual speed buffer so I can turn the speed way down and just kind of buff this out. And it's not on something like a angle grinder like this that's gonna just blow this thing apart with, like, you know, whatever RPM a lot. All right, boys, well, today is a new day. We have pretty much all of the plastic put on. We need to get the door, but overall, camera died last night, kind of finished it up, so I'm gonna hit these little front frame pieces. Got all this down, need to get this door still here. Probably cover up the Zephyr so we don't get a bunch of overspray from that. But really, I'll wet the garage floors, pull these pieces out, mainly just so I have space, and then kind of hit all these metal pieces. So I don't paint a lot. I'm not going to kid you guys and pretend I'm a great painter. I've done like 2 paint jobs. So I don't even know what half the stuff is. Obviously I know we've got the flow, airflow, and then the actual paint flow, the fluid control and the fan control, and then the air control. So fan controls up here. We'll kind of adjust that, spraying on this sheet of paper we set up on the wall to make sure we've got a good pattern. This is the fluid control. They all have little indicators on them. I don't know if you guys can see that. But fluid control, guys kind of say the best way to set that up is I'll back this all the way out so this trigger will pull all the way in. And once the trigger's all the way in, now I have resistance against the body of the gun. I'll tighten this in till I feel it hit. So that basically means my fluid control is full flow. Fan will have to adjust once we start spraying. And then again with the air control, we will crank that all the way open. Make sure that's all the way open once we get air connected to it. Nice thing about these guns is feels good in the hand, but if I pull it just a little bit, it'll just spray air, and then the last bit is going to be the fluid. So we can check it, and we'll actually probably spray solvent, some acetone, and everything through this. Said to drip acetone down in, or cleaner down in through the air inlets. We'll take this cap off and clean out all these orifices here and everything. Make sure with the shoddier guns, you'll see these machined holes and surfaces, like on some of the Harbor Freight stuff. It can be kind of, you know, not perfect. So you get that off, and then this is going to screw off, and you'll have your needle, our end cap, our needle, spring, this piece, this little jobby right here, and make sure she's clean and ready to go. All right, boys, camera overheated and went dead, so we got everything taped off. We got the doors. I'm gonna spray and wipe wax and grease remover one more time. Turn a fan on, just kind of keep things moving. First coat, I'm gonna mix everything up, give it 15 minutes to kind of set. Spray it light and keep a distance. Just get the first coat on light, let it flash off for 15 minutes. probably overlap by 50%, and then give that 15-minute flash point, and then do a second coat, maybe a little bit heavier, and we'll just see how the gun's reacting, because we've got a little bit bigger tip than what's recommended. So we'll just see how it lays down, get this metal covered so it doesn't rust. All right, boys, well, it looks like my GoPro overheated. So it overheated twice today, and it kind of shut you off. You guys kind of saw me start to spray it. Take a look. I mean, it's nice to have everything in one color. So this white is awesome. Obviously, this is just the direct-to-metal primer like we talked about. Everybody kind of gave their inputs. We're still doing deep impact blue. We're gonna do the deep impact blue all through this interior. So where you see the red and everything, and up here, we're painting this. I'm gonna get epoxy on this also, and we're gonna paint everything blue. That is gonna be in upholstery. We got 2 coats of this direct-to-metal epoxy primer, so I don't have to worry about coming up here and touching the stinking thing and getting surface rust on it. So super happy we're at this stage where I'm not gonna be messing with that. Plus, with everything being one color, it's way easier to continue with bodywork with the high build primer, because you can see what is and isn't smooth when it's all one color. So a few more things to do. Video cut out. We got 2 coats on here, and it just looks great. So I'm glad to have it one color. There's a unibody that I just saw, it was a couple months ago, I guess, but it sold at Barrett-Jackson auction, and it had this body or this paint scheme. It was like a pearl white, and then it had black accents. So we're gonna do the blue with the black accents, like black wheels, black side mirrors, black handles, black grill. But this one had this white with all the black accents, and it looked really good. And the thing sold on Barrett-Jackson for like $230,000 or something. Maybe if I can find it, I'll throw a picture up here. You guys can take a look at it. But just crazy. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's beautiful. And I see why, because looking at this now with the white, and then if you just did a straight black interior, it man, it looks good. It really complements itself. So unfortunately, we're not doing that, or fortunately. I think everybody kind of unanimously agreed on the comments. We're going deep impact blue outside, inside, black interior, blue stitching. I'm not set on if I'm going to do Alcantara on the top of the dash and then split it with the blue stitching and then the rest leather, and then do some Alcantara accents like the shifter boot and the e-brake handle. Change the shifter knob to something old school. But yeah, we're doing blue interior paint, blue exterior. The roof is going to be Alcantara, accent Alcantara, black leather, blue stitching. She is looking slick. Next up on the docket, we need to do some basic body work on the hood, the doors, the fenders, and then we're going to sand them down and paint prep them just like we did all of this stuff, so we can get all the panels back aligned, and then we'll end up spraying the high build filler on everything. Maybe leave it like this for the high build, and then put everything together, fit the door panels and gaps and all that stuff, and then we'll spray the color once it's all complete. It is coming along nicely, looks really good. I'm really happy with the spray gun, Eastwood P500, so that it came out great. Couldn't be more happy. We're going to continue on working our way on this, and as always, thanks for everybody who comments and interacts, subscribing, and until next time, God bless and long live hot rodding.